What if Inter Miami's biggest problem wasn't their attack, but the decision they already walked away from, despite Messi's magic cracks are showing, lead slipping, pressure mounting, and a season starting to wobble? Now Miami are considering a shocking U-turn that could change everything, a familiar name, a proven winner, and a decision that might redefine their title hopes. But will they pull the trigger? We'll explain everything in this video step by step. Don't skip. Ladies and gentlemen, football fans around the world, buckle up because this story has twists, turns, and a classic MLS comeback written all over it. Just when everyone thought Inter Miami had their transfer plans locked, loaded, and sealed, boom, a sudden U-turn shakes the Sunshine State. Reports are flying in that Lionel Messi's Inter Miami are now seriously considering bringing back a former MLS Cup champion once his contract runs out. And trust me, this is not just another routine roster update. This is drama with a capital D. Let's rewind for a second. Inter Miami, a club built on star power, expectations, and non-stop spotlight. Messi arrives, the world watches, trophies follow, but cracks start to show. Injuries pile up, defensive stability wobbles. Consistency, let's just say it hasn't always RSVP'd, and suddenly the idea of experience over flash starts sounding very attractive. Enter the familiar name, a player who's been there, done that, and lifted silverware in this league. An MLS Cup champion who knows the grind, understands the chaos, and thrives when the pressure hits boiling point. Once out of the picture, now very much back on the radar. Football loves a redemption arc, and Miami might be ready to write one. And here's the spicy part. This isn't nostalgia talking, this is strategy. This is Messi's Miami realizing that magic alone doesn't win championships. You need fighters, you need leaders, you need someone who can step in, calm the storm and deliver when the pink shirts are under fire. Fans are split, some are celebrating the potential reunion, others are raising eyebrows. But one thing is certain, this move screams ambition, it screams we're not done yet. And with Messi pulling the strings and Miami plotting their next strike, the MLS transfer drama meter just hit maximum. So keep your eyes locked because if this comeback becomes reality, it could change Inter Miami's season, reshape their identity, and send a clear message to the rest of the league. Miami adapts, Miami learns, and Miami never stays down for long. What looked like a settled and carefully planned transfer strategy into Miami has suddenly been thrown into chaos, and the reason is a dramatic change of direction that few saw coming. Reports now suggest that the club has made a full U-turn on its original stance, reopening the door to a former MLS Cup champion whose future is once again under serious consideration. Only months ago, this player appeared to be firmly in the past, a chapter closed as Miami focused on new faces, new ideas, and a long-term vision built around Lionel Messi and a core of global stars. Now, with contracts ticking down and reality setting in, that vision is being reassessed in real time. Inter Miami's season has been anything but smooth, and that turbulence has forced decision makers to question whether their initial transfer blueprint truly covered every weakness. Injuries have disrupted momentum, depth has been tested, and moments of defensive fragility have exposed a lack of battle-hardened experience in high-pressure MLS situations. In that context, the idea of bringing back a proven winner no longer feels like a step backward, but rather a calculated pivot. This is where the U-turn becomes so significant because it signals a club willing to admit that circumstances have changed and that flexibility may be the key to staying competitive. The timing of this shift is just as telling as the decision itself. With the player's contract nearing its expiration, Miami suddenly has an opportunity that did not exist before. There is no massive transfer fee, no prolonged negotiation saga, just a window opening at exactly the moment the club is questioning its depth and resilience. In a league where roster rules are complex and margins are thin, that kind of opportunity carries real weight. It turns a hypothetical reunion into a realistic, practical option that fits both sporting and financial considerations. There is also a deeper emotional layer to this potential return. MLS Cup champions are not remembered simply for their talent, but for the scars they carry from playoff battles, hostile away nights, and seasons defined by pressure. That experience cannot be replicated through highlight reels or reputation alone. By reconsidering this player, Inter Miami appears to be acknowledging that star power needs a foundation of league-specific knowledge, someone who understands how MLS seasons twist and turn and how quickly momentum can swing. This U-turn also reflects the growing influence of immediate expectations at the club. With Messi on the pitch, every match feels like an event and every drop point becomes magnified. Patience, once preached as part of a long-term project, is harder to maintain under such intense scrutiny. Reintroducing a familiar, decorated figure suggests a desire to stabilize the present rather than gamble solely on future development, an approach that aligns with a win-now mentality without completely abandoning the broader vision. Ultimately, this sudden shift in transfer thinking reveals a club in motion, reacting to challenges as they unfold, rather than rigidly sticking to an outdated plan. It underscores how quickly narratives can change in football, especially in a league as unpredictable as MLS, where experience and adaptability often prove just as valuable as ambition and star appeal. Inter Miami's recent struggles have quietly reshaped the way the club views its own squad, forcing a hard look at whether flair and global reputation alone can carry a team through the relentless demands of an MLS season. What once felt like a bold, exciting experiment built around star names has, at times, exposed uncomfortable gaps when consistency and control were required most. Matches that should have been routine turned into battles, leads slipped away, and defensive lapses became talking points, pushing the club to rethink what kind of players are truly needed to compete week after week. Injuries played a major role in this shift of thinking. When key figures were unavailable, the lack of experienced replacements became impossible to ignore. Younger or less seasoned players struggled to manage pressure moments, especially late in games, where composure often decides the outcome. The absence of leaders on the pitch, players who could slow the tempo, organise teammates and read the flow of the match highlighted a vulnerability that flashy signings could not fix on their own. These moments gradually shifted priorities from excitement to reliability. The MLS presents unique challenges that even world-class talent must adapt to. Long travel distances, unpredictable weather, physical playing styles, and compressed schedules demand resilience as much as brilliance. Inter Miami's inconsistency served as a reminder that success in this league often belongs to teams with a strong spine of experienced professionals who understand these demands intimately. As results fluctuated, the appeal of proven MLS veterans began to outweigh the initial fascination with purely high-profile additions. Leadership became another crucial factor in this reassessment. In difficult matches when momentum swung against Miami, the team often lacked a calming presence capable of rallying the group. Vocal leaders, those unafraid to demand more from teammates or take responsibility during chaotic moments, were in short supply. This absence was felt most strongly during stretches of poor form, when confidence dipped and the squad looked in need of guidance rather than inspiration. The shift toward valuing experience over flash does not represent a rejection of ambition, but rather a refinement of it. Inter Miami's identity is evolving, shaped by lessons learned the hard way. The club appears to recognise that sustainable success requires balance, blending star quality with players who have endured the grind of MLS seasons and emerged stronger. Experience brings a sense of control that allows creative talents to flourish instead of constantly firefighting. By reassessing their priorities, Miami is signalling a maturity that often comes only after setbacks. The struggles have acted as a mirror, reflecting what was missing rather than what was advertised. In choosing to prioritise stability, leadership, and league-tested experience, the club is adjusting its approach to meet the realities of competition, acknowledging that trophies are rarely won by excitement alone, but by teams built to endure pressure, adapt to adversity, and respond when the spotlight is brightest. The idea of pairing Messi's star power with a proven MLS winner speaks directly to Inter Miami's growing understanding of what it takes to succeed in this league. While Messi brings unmatched vision, creativity, and global influence, the team around him must provide balance, structure, and reliability. A proven MLS Cup champion offers exactly that. Someone who understands the rhythm of the league and can anchor performances when moments become chaotic. This potential addition is less about headlines and more about function, filling gaps that have been exposed during demanding stretches of the season. A player who has already lifted the MLS Cup carries a different kind of authority. That experience translates into confidence during high-pressure matches, particularly in playoff scenarios where margins are razor-thin. Such players have faced elimination games, hostile crowds, and must-win situations, developing instincts that cannot be taught on the training ground. For Inter Miami, that knowledge becomes invaluable, especially for a squad that often finds itself under intense scrutiny and expectation due to Messi's presence. Stability has been one of Miami's most pressing needs, and a proven MLS winner is seen as a stabilising force both tactically and mentally. Whether operating in defence, midfield, or a leadership role across the pitch, this type of player understands when to slow the game down, when to take risks, and when to prioritise control over flair. These decisions, often invisible to casual viewers, are what prevent matches from spiralling out of control. In a team that thrives on attacking brilliance, such balance can be the difference between dominance and vulnerability. The relationship between star power and structure is delicate. Messi's influence elevates everyone around him, but it also increases the pressure on teammates to perform consistently. A seasoned MLS champion can help absorb that pressure, allowing younger or less experienced players to play with greater freedom. Their presence creates a sense of security, reinforcing trust across the squad and reducing the reliance on individual moments of magic. Beyond the tactical benefits, the psychological impact of adding a proven winner cannot be overstated. Winning breeds belief, and players who have already experienced championship success often carry an aura that lifts standards in training and match preparation. They understand the habits required to win over a long season, from recovery routines to focus during crucial stretches. For Inter Miami, integrating such a mindset alongside Messi's elite mentality, LD reshape the team's competitive edge. This potential move also reflects a strategic shift toward building a core that complements rather than competes with Messi's influence. Instead of surrounding him solely with flair-driven players, the club appears to be prioritising balance and cohesion. A proven MLS Cup champion fits seamlessly into that vision, acting as a connector between the superstar and the rest of the squad, ensuring that creativity is supported by discipline and experience in moments where composure is essential. The possibility of a high-profile comeback carries the potential to alter the entire trajectory of Inter Miami's season, transforming uncertainty into renewed belief almost overnight. A return like this would not simply add another name to the roster, but would reshape the emotional and competitive atmosphere surrounding the team. For a club navigating immense expectations and constant scrutiny, such a move sends a powerful message that adjustments are being made with purpose and urgency. Momentum in football is fragile, and Inter Miami have experienced firsthand how quickly confidence can rise or fall. The arrival of a familiar, decorated figure could act as a catalyst, stabilising performances during crucial stretches and helping the team recover from dips in form. Players often respond positively to the presence of someone who has already endured championship pressure, and that influence can be felt in training intensity, match preparation, and on field communication. From a league-wide perspective, this potential comeback would not go unnoticed. Rivals constantly analyse Miami's moves, aware that any improvement in balance or depth could shift the competitive landscape. Reintroducing a proven MLS Cup winner signals that Miami is learning from its struggles rather than ignoring them. It suggests a club willing to evolve, reinforcing the idea that they remain a serious threat even when faced with adversity. For supporters, the narrative of return and redemption holds strong appeal. Fans connect deeply with stories of unfinished business, and a comeback offers a renewed sense of hope during a demanding campaign. The emotional lift provided by such a storyline can translate into louder stadiums, greater belief, and a more unified connection between players and supporters. These factors, while intangible, often influence performances in tight matches where energy and confidence play decisive roles strategically. This move could redefine how Inter Miami approach the remainder of the season. Increased squad depth allows for better rotation, reducing the physical toll on key players and enabling the team to maintain intensity across competitions. Tactical flexibility also improves as experienced players provide managers with options to adapt systems based on opponents and match situations. This adaptability becomes especially valuable during congested schedules and playoff pushes, perhaps most importantly, a comeback this nature sends a clear warning to the rest of the league. It communicates that Miami is not content with simply participating or relying on star appeal, but is actively strengthening areas that have been exposed. The message is one of resilience and ambition, a declaration that the club intends to remain competitive and responsive in pursuit of success. In a league where narratives can shift rapidly, such a statement reinforces Miami's determination to challenge, adjust, and push forward under pressure. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.